What's up, YouTube? This is Hattie Drago, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. Usually on Saturdays on my blog, WordPress, or hattiedrago.wordpress.com, I do an article talking about all the card game news of the day. But instead of doing it in article form, I decided to test out doing it in YouTube form. Because I've always thought that on YouTube, there are various card game channels that, focus on one card game or two or three. But I love all card games near equally. And I'm always fascinated by every aspect about card games. So, this is a card game news about the bigger card games that are out there. And, if there's any card games that you, the audience, are interested in me talking about, either in its own separate video or in a future news article, I'd be happy to include it into my schedule. So let's get started with there's only been 2 releases in the card game world. And let me switch to my screen share. All right, so first off, obviously for Magic the Gathering, its next set in the world of Magic is Dragons of Tarkir. I've already talked about this in my own kind of set review, and I plan on this Monday doing my top 10 Dragons of Tarkir card video. And overall, the reception has been interesting, although yesterday I entered a draft yesterday, and one person who apparently doesn't pay attention to how everything goes with Magic didn't know about the draft format being Dragons, and Fate instead of all 3 packs. So very exciting that this is coming out. Or this has come out. The event deck has come out. I own the event deck. I decided to get it because it has cards I need. Overall, it's a very, very good set, in my opinion. Next, the only other release is from March 25th, actually. This past, counting, 28, 27, 26, 25. Tuesday. This Tuesday? Wednesday. Either way, from this past, Wednesday. From this past Wednesday, Double Crisis from, for Pokemon came out, which is is a mini set for, I don't remember their English names, but title blah. How did I forget their names already? But the sets that correlated to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. This is actually a mini supplement set that includes, similar to how every other Pokemon set, like every era, has their own Team Mag. In this case, Team Magma's Numel, and then back in the original, you'd have Brock's or Misty's cards, stuff like that. And that's a good amount of cards. It's not a big set. And some cards are interesting. Like this Camper Up has an interesting idea that once during your turn, you may attach a fighting or a fire energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon, which is great. And then his attack moves basic energies around. And then Spheal, one of my favorite Pokemon actually, Spheal. Let's see. And there's a couple of EXs, Kyogre EX with the Team Aqua members in the background with other Pokemon, and then Groudon EX, Team Groudon's Team Magma's Groudon EX is the same thing. And it's overall interesting. Oh, I didn't mean to go there yet. Viper, Baltoy, Fatal. Well, actually, what's the most interesting probably are some of the items that have come out. Notably, that these are all just support of these cards. Although, frankly, in competitive Pokemon, I don't know how far these cards will get. But I guess because of the double Aqua Energy and double magma energy that it's going to be quite good to try this deck out at least. So anyways, next, on to the actual Yu-Gi-Oh news. Yu-Gi-Oh has a good bit of news. First off, in the anime itself, the anime deals with going through different dimensions and such. And so they're going to the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's world, and Jack and Crow are going to be in the anime, which is overall awesome. I don't personally follow the anime at the moment. I lost track of it. But I'll probably get into it now if they're going to introduce more old characters. Next, we have Chibi Deck Boxes for the TCG. And I wish it was just Chibi Kaiba because I love Chibi. Kaiba's one of my favorite characters. Blue Eyes White Dragon's one of my favorite monsters of all time. And just this side is amazing. I may even, just try to copy and paste the image on this side at some point when I get it to have it on this side. Although not to bash Yugi. Yugi's cool. I just like Kaiba and I like dragons better. And it says here it's large enough to hold a main deck, an extra deck, and side deck, which, it's decks in general. Or deck boxes in general should be able to fit that. Made of a sturdy material, capable of handling the rigors of dueling for hours at a time. The rigors of dueling, you mean being taken in and out of a box or a bag. Whatever. Either way, this deck box is cool, and I'll probably buy one for myself. Next, we have some cards from the official Twitter page. First is Furnimal Mouse. Furnimal is actually one of my favorite new archetypes. I wish it was more competitive. During level 1, 100, Earth Fairy with an effect. During the turn you activate this card's effect, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except Fright Fur monsters, which are their token fusion monsters. And once while this card is face up, you can special summon up to 2 Fluffle Mouse from your deck. That's actually really good. Because what it does, especially for the Fright Fur Wolf fusion, that dependent on how many cards are used to fuse him, he gets additional attacks. And it's pretty much like Infernity Beetle from Infernities. Just being able to get that much advantage, be able to fuse more, is great. Is a good thing. Next are the Raid Raptors. Raid Raptor Fuzzy Lanius. I have a feeling this will be joked about. Anyways, there's a Dark Winged Beast, level 4, 500 attack, 1500 defense. Can only use the effect once per turn. Each effect of it once per turn. During the turn you activate this card's effect, you cannot special summon monsters except Raid Raptor monsters, which this is, I'm assuming in a Raid Raptor deck, so you don't want to summon anything else. But then again, in the past, when they didn't put this kind of text on a card, there are always the broken combos to be able to get out anything you wanted. Anyways, if you control a Raid Raptor other than Fuzzy Lanius, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is good. Good for it. And then if it's sent to the graveyard from anywhere, so using it as XC material, obviously, you can add a Fuzzy Lanius from your deck to your hand. Not bad. You can use both of its effects in one turn. Makes easy X-Seed summoning. Although just Raid Raptor only. And then lastly is Mirror Force Dragon, continuing being part of a new collector's pack that'll be coming out. It's 2800 attack, 1200 defense for a level 8 light dragon fusion monster. Has to be special summoned with the Fang of Critias, which I don't think I've seen that card yet. I'll have to look for it if it exists yet, but I'm not sure if it does. And then you send Mirror Force you control or have in your hand to the graveyard. It can't be special summoned by other ways. And then when a monster you control is targeted for an attack or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy all cards that your opponent controls, which is just so awesome. I mean, considering how easy-ish it is to get out the Dark Magician Dragon Girl, or Dark Dragon Girl. I forgot the exact name of her. But it is easy to get that card out. Easy-ish. It requires its own deck. But dependent... I mean, almost everyone's using Mirror Force anyway. So the Frame of Critias, depending on its other requirements, could probably fit in a good amount of decks. And you could have a deck specifically with this strategy as one win con. So it's nice. I'll probably try it out. Next is a battle. This has already been revealed. I talked about this in my article last week, but this is just more details about the Battle City Duelist Pack that's coming. Like, they're coming back with Duelist Packs again, which is nice. I've missed having Duelist Packs around. And I think the only interesting thing, let's see, for your hiatus Duelist Pack, 47 card pack, which it makes sense. There have always been smaller sets. Mixed favorites of Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, and other cards. And considering it's got stuff for Yugi and Bakura and Merrick, I'm assuming Dark Necroface is going to be in here. And a few other smaller referenced cards from Bakura and Merrick. And it'll be nice. And then it will have 27 commons, 10 rares, 6 super rares, and 4 ultra rares, which is a good balance. Actually, it doesn't say how many packs come in a box, although I would assume it's like the old Duelist packs. So, yeah. I'm excited for it, and we'll see. Oh, Merrick, if it's Merrick, there's probably going to be some form of Gravekeeper stuff in there. So anyway, moving on. Oh, for PlayStation fans, on the PlayStation Store, Konami has officially announced that there will be oh no, this is probably for the OCG only, but so PlayStation fans in Japan, there will be a download. It started on Thursday, and it'll let you have a trial version of the new Tag Force coming out, which makes me jelly that A, do not have a PlayStation, and B, do not live in Japan. So overall, cool. I actually can't wait to see how gameplay is. I wonder if anyone's posted videos of it yet. And then I think this is the last bit of Yu-Gi-Oh news. The island of Taiwan has its own exclusive playmats, and they're all quite awesome and quite nice. So, first mat is the 3 main protagonists of Arc 5. Yuya in the front, of course. The other, I don't know their names yet. Yuto is one of them. And it's a nice, kind of generic main character mat. The next one I think is quite good. It's the Sacred Beasts mat, with 2 of the fusion monsters on it. I kind of wish they were facing opposite directions, only because just how generally that makes it more dynamic, but otherwise it looks good. I like it. Then a very nice Dark World playmat with Dark World Silva in gold. One of the more powerful deck archetypes that have ever existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! And one of my least favorite. But overall, it's a very nice playmat, and I now realize that gold carries an axe. I guess I've never seen gold in this much detail before. And gold almost has entirely shiny versions of his card. And then lastly, kind of a punch in the face, considering Blaster and his brethren have all been banned in both the OCG and TCG come this April 1st. To have a Blaster playmat, I mean, it looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it really is kind of a punch in the face that they're having this playmat come out right when they're getting banned. Rest in peace, Dark Dragon Rulers, rest in peace. So, next we're going to get on to some more Pokemon news, and the next set is coming out in June for Japan, and I would assume mid-fall for the TCG, is Bandit Ring. It will have Hoopa in it, and let's see. It'll have Hoopa, looks like Arceus. Arceus and Kyurem? Wow. Or maybe that's just the art on the front of the pack. Who knows? Oh, and there's apparently going to be a dual deck with Emboar versus Togekiss, giving some forms of hint as to what's going to be in the main set. And I'm assuming there will be tons more fairy support, like there have been recently. And ooh, I am liking the deck box and sleeves they're having here. I'm not sure if those will hit the States, the deck box and sleeves. But overall, oh, actually, what's this image? It's a dummy image. It means it's not the official cover. Overall, this looks good. Booster pack shows Latios, Latias, Dialga, Regigigas, Arceus, Reshiram, Black Kyurem, Hoopa, and Pikachu. So they are included in the set. So all the ones on this cover are in the set. That Arceus coming back, that's insane. I wonder, they're not going to do the same thing they did before, where they had like multiple versions of Arceus. That would be insane. But it is interesting. I personally can't wait for that then, if an Arceus deck is even possible. So next up, for the States, you get your own exclusive alternate art promo of this Altaria. And this Altaria is actually not that bad. No zooming, alright. It has a Delta Evolution, or I think that's Delta. And you may play this card. You can evolve a Swablu and Altaria immediately, is basically what it's saying. And then each of your colorless Pokemon has no weakness, which is actually pretty decent. Fighting type decks, last I heard of, are still somewhat of a thing. So being able to have your fighting type Pokemon or your normal type Pokemon not be weak to fighting is great. And also this art is quite nice. It's very cheerful and turning that corner. It's good. Next, 2 blister boosters for Roaring Skies, which is the English name for Emerald Break, for those of you that didn't know. For Roaring Skies is a promo Heliolisk and a promo Meowstic. I don't know where that, I don't like where that's going, actually. But, Heliolisk, any damage done to this Pokemon by an attack from one of your opponent's water Pokemon is reduced by 30. I don't quite know how popular water decks have been, but considering that this is an electric type, I don't know how useful this form of an ability is. And then it has Hyper Beam, for some reason. 60 damage, flip a coin, if has discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's good. 60 damage with no downside, but considering its overall stats, I don't think Heliolisk will be used at all. Then we got Meowstic. Ability Mysterious Ears. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is damaged, even if it's knocked out, the attacking Pokemon is now confused. That's not horrible. And then Psychoblast. And Psychoblast is the same thing as Heliolisk's Hyper Beam. Again, these promos are not very impressive. I don't think they were meant to be impressive. But I guess kudos to them for getting promos of themselves. Next, the Hoenn Power Tens that are coming out in June for... Oh, I guess they've been announced to come to the States, but we don't know. And they're probably going to be these 2 here, and then a Sceptile EX that we haven't seen yet. And I actually haven't seen the Swampert EX yet. Mud Gulp, 40 plus damage. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. This attack does 40 more damage for each water energy you find. So that's interesting. I think there's ways of stacking your deck in the standard format for Pokemon right now. If there is, that'll be interesting to do. And then Hydro Tackle, 120 damage. It does 20 damage to itself. That's not horrible. And then apparently there's... Well, And there is a Mega Swampert EX. I don't know how that's going to hit the States, but it does exist. And then the Blaziken EX. Screaming Fist, 30 damage. You may attach an energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Just keep powering it up. And Firestorm, 100 plus damage. Flip a coin for each fire energy. And its attacks do 20 more damage. I absolutely love this Blaziken. This Blaziken is quite good. Just powering itself up with energy is essentially, it's a less good version, or not as good version of, you know, the Mewtwo clones that are out there. Mewtwo with his energy equals more attack versions, and then there's the Gardevoir version of it. I kind of can't wait to see what the Sceptile does, but we'll have to wait and see. And then the last bit of Pokemon news is that we got our first images of English cards from Roaring Skies, you know, other than that promo, Altaria. And I'm extremely excited. When I first started playing Pokemon the card game officially, I built a dragon deck. It was a colorless deck and had dragons in it. I was able to use Flygon Evolution Line, Garchomp Evolution Line, and Rayquaza. And somehow I was successful in it. It was actually a really good deck. But I'm excited to be able to build a viable Rayquaza deck again. And, actually his trait. Any damage done to this Pokemon by attack from your opponents is essentially this Delta Wild ability is letting Rayquaza in the card game have all the resistances that he has in the video games, which is pretty cool. And then the Double Dragon Energy, that's just stupid. This card provides every type of energy, but provides only 2 energy at a time. My God, this is just a great card. It's going to be attached to it. It's so good. Imagine this in the Garchomp decks. I don't think those Garchomp decks are viable in Standard anymore, but just this attached to the Garchomp that only takes 2 attack to do 140. Oh my God, that's so good. Anyways, I'm excited for Roaring Skies. So next, Cardfight Vanguard has had quite a bit of cards released. And I'm going to go through them quickly. So from the Fighters Collection 2015, it's mainly been a bunch of new generation units for each of the clans. For Pale Moon, they get a Silverthorn, Dragon Master, Mystic Luquare. And in Basic, you can trade rear guards in your field to Soul Charge 2 and bring out Silverthorn guys out into the rear zone. So essentially, this would be a good combat trick, and it fits well with the strategy of Luquier decks. And Luquier decks have actually been quite popular, mainly the reverse style of Luquier decks. So I'm interested to see how what kind of decks people will make of this, if there will be any changes to Pale Moon because of this. We'll see. Carapace Strange Deity Machining Destroyer is the Mega Colony generation unit. His ability is actually kind of boring to me. You counterblast a machining. You counterblast a machining in your damage zone, and if you got a machining in your heart, you make sure your opponent's card doesn't stand. And then if you have another machining in its card name as one of your rear guards, you select another dude. I mean, that is what Mega Colony does. They stop your opponent's rear guards from untapping. Or actually, does it say Vanguard too? No, it just says rear guard. But it is kind of boring. It just does what all the other cards of Mega Colony end up doing anyway. Not saying it's bad. It's really good. It's just boring. Very, very boring. Something that's not boring is Death Star Vader Omega Loop Glendios. I love Link Joker's names. They're the best. His effect in Basic is all of these new G units have to deal with having the same name stuff, same name cards in your heart or your soul or your rearguard circle. And he cares about Glendios. And if there's a Glendios in your heart, which is what your soul becomes when, well, anyways, Glendios. If you got Glendios in your heart, your opponent chooses one of his rear guards for each of your rear guards with reverse in his card name and put the top. So essentially, it's just locking a bunch of cards your opponent controls, and if you have 5 or more damage when you do this ability, your opponent can't unflip their lock cards the next end phase like they're usually able to. So it's essentially just stalling, making sure your opponent is locked down so you can try to get the final win. And I could see this card, it's really more of a finisher, I think, or the turn before finishing turn kind of card. It's very interesting, very good. I could see this being tested and used in competitive style decks. Next is Amon's Claw, Marukeos. I'm gonna call him Mark. Amon's Claw, Mark. Anyways, if you have a card in your heart with Amon, choose 2 of your rear guards with Amon, and they get plus 3,000. Just like the Mega Connolly one, this one is just exceptionally boring. And I don't really know, like I believe someone in the comments down here, that I won't show their names because I don't know if they want to be on video or not, but a comment down in this forum section says there's not that many Amon cards to support it. I never actually looked. Actually, I think we can look real quick. Amon's. Oh no, there's enough stuff. No. Never mind. I mean, his effect is viable, it's just essentially really boring, and I don't know if it's appealing enough to have darker regulars go into this strategy. Of course, I would have to look at the other Amon cards to really get a handle on if it's good or not. So next is Great Warrior Dudley Geronimo from Spike Brothers. Now that I think about it, most of the Stride units revealed this week have been darker regular, haven't they? Which is nice. Anyways. So, Counterblast 1, choose a face down Dudley from your G zone, flip a face up. You have a Dudley in your heart. Until end of turn, this unit gets, when your rear guard attacks, that unit gets power plus 5,000. Oh, nice. And at the end of the battle, put that unit on the bottom of your deck. Then if the number of face-up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, till end of turn, this unit gets, your rear guards may attack a Vanguard from the back row. Whoa, ho, ho. That's really cool. I honestly don't know how viable attacking the Vanguard with dudes in the back row is. Maybe if, no. Of course, all your rearguards do get power plus 5,000 until end of turn, so it's essentially just boosting them. This is very interesting. I would build a deck around this, just to try it out. So, Spike Brothers, good for you. The next couple cards, 2 cards, are from the Legend deck, the Dark Ren Suzukamori, which, if you guys don't know, is Cardfight Vanguard deciding to have a Legend deck, kind of like a structure deck or a trial deck, only it's more pumped up with better cards based around a character. So anyways, it's a grade 1 dude with 7,000 power. Choose a grade 3 from your hand, reveal it. When this unit is placed on rear guard, pay the cost. Search your deck for a grade 3 with Blast Dark in its name, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Which is a good ability. this is probably really helping with all the generation unit shenanigans that need to happen, and then cycling, making sure that your deck is not jam-packed full of grade 3s at the same time. And then while you are retiring your rear guards with the cost from one of your unit's abilities, if you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, you may treat this unit as 2 units. Whoa! That last ability is actually quite good, considering that's a whole entire strategy of Shadow Paladin is sacrificing your own units. And if you can sacrifice one thing to have it be treated as 2, that just creates more board advantage, especially if you have multiples of these on the field. Whew. And I could see this being used. I don't know how many people will switch from the Revenger strategy to a different strategy, but I enjoy it. The other card from the Dark Rin Suzugamori is Dark Heart Trumpeter. Grade 1, 7,000 booster, usual. It's got a Generation Break 1, and when it's placed on Rearguard Circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Blaster, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 or less card and call it a Rearguard. Which could be the True Mage Sharon that we just looked at, or any other good size one. Just the ability to be able to cycle through your deck in any way, shape, or form in any United Sanctuary clan is exceptionally good. And I think it will be played. I think a Blaster strategy will pop up as being not a more viable strategy than Revenger, because Revenger is a ridiculous deck archetype. But we'll see where it goes. The next 2 cards are actually from the 3rd set of Generation, or Cardfight Vanguard Generation. The set is called Dragon Star of Supreme Rule. I don't even know when this was announced. It's so new to me. But it's coming out in May in Japan, in July in English. It's got Link Joker, Shadow Paladin, Gold Paladin, Murakumo, Dark Irregulars, and Kagero clans. And of course Cray Elemental, but who uses those? Anyways, so this guy is from Shadow Paladin. And it's another Revenger, as we've been constantly talking about. They're just getting more support. And your Vanguard's Limit Break 4 is active when you have 3 or less damage. And let's just have the shenanigans continue with Revengers. The more support they get, the better they get. Just in general. And, it's just a decently sized size 1. It can be sacrificed later. Overall, good fodder card, in my opinion. Heavy Material Dragons for Link Joker. It's also from Dragon Star of Supreme Rule. And its flavor text, does it say Cyber Dragon? Oh my god, it says Cyber Dragon. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'm kidding. Anyways, has a Generation Break 1 ability that allows you to lock Counterblast 1, discard a card, and lock one of your rear guards to draw 2 cards. That seems like a lot of things to do just to draw 2 cards. But then again, any of the cards in other clans that you draw 1 card don't tend to function as well as they should. So maybe this is better, since the method in getting the draw 2 cards is easier to accomplish than any of the other draw 1 cards. I don't know if this will be used in Link Joker, maybe, but it's interesting at the very least, and I'm loving I know it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but it feels like it to me. And the next few cards are promos from actually, I think it's just 2. Yeah, it's just these next 2 cards are promos. This one is from a monthly Bushiroad. Pardon me if I don't quite know what this is. It's it's a magazine. They have their own magazine? It's Japan only, more than likely, which makes me sad. But it's more Link Joker support that when it is put onto the guard circle, you can lock one of your cards. Or no, you can choose a locked card and unlock it. If you do, it gives plus 5,000 shield. Actually, this is kind of interesting. So you lock one of your opponent's things, and then you unlock it, and then you guard for more. I could see it being something like you locked one of your opponent's boosting units, forcing them to attack with just the one attacker with no boost. Or actually, let's think of it this way. Say the Vanguard is attacking and you've locked the boost unit that's behind the Vanguard. And then you could just unflip that and really doesn't change the pace of the game very much. I mean, the Vanguard attacking, it's still going to get boosted if it gets crits, but you're defending better against it. Something like that. It is a good card. I think this, it's not better than Sentinel unit, or not Sentinel. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's not better than Sentinel unit, but it is interesting. And the last thing we have, Sitter's Mew. And it's a kitty with a Mew tail protecting another kitty. If you haven't learned already, I'm a cat person. I'm going to collect this, not collect because this is a promo and I have no idea where it's going to come from. But this is a card that if I got a copy of it, I would just keep it forever. Anyways, its effect isn't bad. When it boosts the Vanguard, it gets plus 4,000 until the end of turn, so long as Generation Break 1 is active. So, you know, it's just one of those generic 10,000 plus boosters that has a requirement to be able to do so. But the requirement is easier considering everything is going towards being Generation Break affluent. So I say good job, kitty. Good job, kitty. The next card game we're going to talk about is another Bushiroad card game, Future Card Buddy Fight, which came out last January. And it's continuing to be somewhat popular. I mean, I think it's more popular than White Schwartz is at the moment, but definitely less popular than Cardfight Vanguard, which is unfortunate. So anyways, the first few cards are from the next set for Future Card Buddy Fight, coming out, I want to say May. Around May, this next set's coming out. And it's called, for English, it's called Neo Enforcer, and for Japan, it's called Giga Future. And the sets actually come out around the same time in Future Card Buddy Fight, which is brilliant. So this is a Dragon Knight guy, based off of a historical figure, which I have not read about yet. And he has Penetrate. So it's decent. I don't think it's going to be used in any decks or anything. Its stats are somewhat weak. But I think for the draft format that exists in Future Card Buddy Fight, this is going to be an all-star for sure. Next is Second Crimson Chieftain Burning Fall, which is another size 3 for the Crimson archetype that exists. But pay to gauge, your item with Fist has +1 crit, double attack. So this card has some stuff going for it. I mean, I still like General GG better. Oh, General, I can never remember his full name, but I call him General GG. He's the size 3 face monster of the Crimson Fist trial decks that are coming out. Anyways, I do enjoy General GG better, but this guy isn't bad, and in a deck revolving around Crimson and Fist items, it could be good. I would use it as a 1 or 2 of though. Wouldn't go any higher. Oh, did I not organize these? Oh, I organized them by world. All right. So this is a Dragon World card. It's a promo called Crimson Battler Heavy Impact Dragon. And so long as if you link attack with him and a Fist item, you destroy a card in your opponent's field. And that's actually really cool. It will be used, more than likely, as a good promo for the Crimson archetype. But its stats are really subpar for a size 2. Really subpar. Like, those are the types of stats that would be on a size 1 monster. So next, we're going on to Ancient World, and I believe this is the buddy monster of the new villain that's popping up in Season 2 of the anime. His name is Raging Hungry Emperor Grand Wilderness. What a name. He's a Dragon Lord and 100 demons, which we haven't seen anything else that's 100 demons yet, so we're thinking, because the next season of Future Card Buddy Fight is Future Card Buddy Fight 100, that, you know, this is important. It's probably very important. So anywho, Raging Hungry Emperor Grand Wilderness costs a gauge, and when he attacks and destroys a monster, you gain 2 life, which is really good for, and he has a decent amount of stats. Actually, wait. His stats are Drum Bunker's stats, which means he's good. Except Drum Bunker has Soul Guard. Anyways, the effect essentially helps out with all of the cards Ancient World has that makes you pay life. And getting some of that life back is good. So I can't wait to see this card's personality in the anime, and you know, the character behind this buddy monster. Next is Dragon Brawl. I don't get how you can call something Dragon Brawl and not have it have the dragon attribute. Raging Spirit. Really? It probably has something to do with the technicality of the names of Raging Spirit in Japan is not the same as it would be for the Dragon Ein issue. Anyways, you discard a size 3 monster and pay a life to draw 2 cards. This is essentially just an alternate way of drawing cards from Divine Dragon creation. And actually now it makes sense as to why it doesn't have a dragon attribute behind it, because this with Dragon Ein and Divine Dragon creation would be somewhat ridiculous. So, good job Bushiroad for making sure the power levels of cards is not drastically stupid. And this card isn't bad. Next, some Legend World cards. First from, first couple, actually the first 3 of these cards from Legend World are from Neo Enforcer and Giga Future. And this is a spell card that lets you choose a size 2 or greater star on your field and give it double attack. I am skeptical of this card. The star strategy is more of a control-based strategy in Future Card Buddy Fight, where you set up your board and your opponent can barely do anything. So I don't know how viable it is for you to be giving your monsters extra attacks, but I mean, it's not bad. And because of the combo and how it works, it'd only be giving it to the one main monster of the control combo. And I don't remember if his stats are any good. So overall, it's an interesting card. Giving double attack is always a good thing. Next, we have Oswira Guard, another rune. And I'm surprised it doesn't say Asgard rune or something like that. Anyways, you have to put a monster from your field to the drop zone, and then put a gauge on top of your deck and draw a card. And it's a counter ability, so that you can do this, I'm assuming, as your opponent is going to attack one of your monsters. You play this, you get rid of the monster, the attack becomes null and void, because I don't think replay exists in Buddy Fight like it does in Yu-Gi-Oh! So overall, awesome advantage card. I do enjoy it. Oh, out of order. The next Legend World card is a promo. And the last 2 cards here are both promos. Perseus Algol, interesting, is a star monster that when it's put into your drop zone from your hand, you put a card from your opponent's gauge into the drop zone. This more supports Asgard, not Asgard. What am I thinking? Yeah, I am thinking Asgard. This supports Asgard more than it does Star, unless Star has other ways of discarding cards. Because Asgard's all about making sure that your hand gets discarded so you can have that combo to get out the Fenrir. And just having more cards that benefit from being discarded from your hand is great. And, you know, getting rid of Gauge from your opponent will definitely disrupt their strategies, and always a bonus. Next is a card from Hero World, the newest world to show up into the playing scene. And no, it's actually not officially viable as a deck yet. As soon as the Giga Future Neo Enforcer sets come out, then it will be a good deck. Anyways, you pay a Gauge, and when it enters the field, if you are transformed, draw a card. I still don't understand how transform works. I think I believe it's just you becoming the monster, and then you can still have items attached. I have no idea. But anyways, considering that Hero World is all about transforming, it's not going to be hard to be able to get that draw card. But 1 Gauge for the stats that it has, it's really kind of weak, and I don't know if it'll actually be used. But kudos to existing. So next, we got Hearthstone, and how exciting is it that Hearthstone's next set is coming out next week? I mean, I really wasn't expecting that. I knew that it would be around the corner. I didn't realize it would be like next week. April 2nd, Black Rock Mountain. My God. It's honestly going to be amazing because actually not as amazing as it seems for me, because we'll get to the next article, but one of the main aspects of Black Rock Mountain that they've been talking about is the fact that there's going to be a big dragon strategy behind it. But the cards I've seen so far, the dragons don't really mesh with each other, and the dragon support is kind of similar to what they did in Magic recently with Dragons of Tarkir, and B is not that beneficial. So anyways, let's just look at the dragons first. So Volcanic Drake, I think is quite interesting. It really has to have a deck for itself that it works in, or just happens to work in. So it's a 6-drop, 6/4, but it costs less if you have minions die this turn. And let's see. Well, if it had charge, I would definitely be considering it for Zulok even. I would have considered it for Zulok if it had charge. But as it is, it's kind of boring, and people are talking about using Unleash the Hounds with it. That could potentially get it to be 0-drop 6/4, which is great. But that's going into what in Magic we call Magical Christmas Land. But, you know, I'll definitely be testing out strategies with this card, and we'll see what happens. The next one is Draconid Crusher. So you either get a 6-drop 6/6 or a 6-drop 9/9, which it sounds good, but considering all of the other big giant beef cards that are vanilla and aren't played, this card is not that good. I mean, for Arena, absolutely, this is going to be a monster in Arena as a late game. But in Constructed, I do not see where this will fit. It would have to be somewhere where, again, if this had charge, it would be amazing. If anything had charge, it would be amazing. If this had taunt, it would be amazing. Actually, there we go. Actually, I figured it out. All right, so you give this guy taunt. And we're done here. And then lastly, we have the boss monster himself, Nefarian. And Battlecry, add 2 random spells to your hand. And the the comparison I keep seeing that people are making with him is that him versus Ysera. Ysera has better stats with the 12 health and being able to survive longer. And all of Ysera's cards that she gives you are great. But Nefarian giving you random spells from your opponent's class, not from your opponent's deck, mind you. Because usually the class cards from your opponent's deck would be quite good, considering it's in their deck. But from their class, that means you could be getting spells that are absolutely useless against whoever you're going against. But, you know, it's not horrible, but at the same time, it's not hyping me up for a dragon strategy. And continuing with this dragon strategy talk, we have the we saw Blackwing Technician when the set was first announced. If you control a dragon, it's +1/+1, making a 3-drop 3/5, which is okay. They already have the mechanical spider that is similar in stats to that. And then Blackwing Corruptor, 5-drop if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage, which is okay, but there are other cards that do similar things without having to have a dragon. But then Dragon's Breath, deal 4 damage, and it costs 1 less for each minion that died this turn. Alright, so this is something. And I think Mage Dragon. I might make a Mage Dragon deck, it depends. I've been thinking about how Mage would work with archetypes. Anyways, so Dragon's Breath is okay. Who knows if you'll ever actually get it to be 0? I think you could. But so far, the dragon strategy is not meshing very well with what I'm thinking, or how I think it should mesh. But, you know, we'll see when the entire adventure is out and people are playing with the cards. So, lastly, our last bit of news is for Hex Shards of Fate. And recently there was a patch because it was previously announced that these cards, promo alternate art cards, would be available for players to buy, but it was bugged when it first tried to attempt it. But it's patched, it's fixed, everyone can get any of these cards that they want with their nice alternate art. I personally want to get Murder. That is a great Murder card. And they also announced a new holiday type of event called the Feast of Abundance, where from the 30th to the 6th, they're going to hold tournaments. If you just log in, you're able to get the sleeve. But if you attend one of the tournaments, you get the alternate art card, or the promo card, which is essentially, for the Shinhare strategy, this is actually quite a good card. I don't like that it costs a charge to be able to do so, but overall it's good. And then the VIP weekend is this weekend. If you're probably already in the tournament anyway. So for those of you that are in the VIP weekend tournaments this week, good luck, have fun. And then, the 5 Shards Wild Cup presented by Dragonborn is April 11th and 12th. So it's the next. I actually tried to attend the first cup of this, but I had personal matters to attend to. But essentially, they've gone through all 5 shards in different tournament formats to find, to weed out, to have these cups. And then they're going to have a Cup of Fate tournament, which is going to be soon, because they've already gone through all 5 shards. So, overall, that is all of the card game news I have for you. Please... That is all the card game news I have. Oh, can't. Oh no, damn it. I pressed a button and it exploded. Okay, I fixed it. Good. Woo. All right. So thank you everyone for watching my card game news video. I hope you learned about other card games that you might be interested in getting into, because all the card games I talk about are popular in some way, shape, or form. Either that you'll be able to find them in your local store at the very least. You know, not Hearthstone and Hex, obviously. Those are just two of the online card games that are popular right now, especially Hearthstone. But Card Fight Vanguard, Future Card Buddy Fight, Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, all of those can be found at your local game store. So I recommend going, and if we're interested in any of these card games I talked about that you're unfamiliar with, go ahead to your local game store, get a trial deck, try it out, have fun. And if you want to see more card game content, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment asking. You can ask about any other card game that exists in the world, and I will answer it. I'll talk about it here on YouTube, or I'll talk about it on my Twitch stream, which I left a link below. And I'll also, every Wednesday, I'll continue to have my deck brews going on. And not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, I'm going to do a stock price report for Magic Standard, which that will be interesting. All right, so thank you everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day.